Hello, I'm Gary Bogner from Michigan, United States, and this is my second trip to Bulgaria. I've had the pleasure of meeting some wonderful, wonderful people over here. I would say that animals in Bulgaria are certainly strong animals. I don't think, though, they're stronger than all other animals. I think your landscape can make the hunt certainly difficult, especially your mountainous area. And I'm not even talking about the highest mountains. I mean, where you have all the steep gorges and ravines. I'm using English terms, and I'm not sure what you call them here, but I know what you know what I mean. The ridges and everything. For where you'll find chamois, you'll find red deer, you'll find even the roe deer. That really is exhausting. A lot of hiking, a lot of serious hiking.
So it's a challenge to some of the people, especially the ones that are not well fitted. It could be a great challenge.
You're correct. It's a real challenge. I would say one other thing is that your animals somewhat like African animals. African animals have had predators for thousands of years, and so they react in a different way than a lot of other worldly animals do.
Which are more calm?
Yeah, a little more calm, okay? Your animals, I think, have dealt with people and have...
People predators.
Yeah, people predators. You have less land and more people. So they become very secretive in the way they move. They don't usually stop for a second look.
They know the game.
Yeah, they know the game. And so when they go, they're gone.
Okay, your experience, especially with the bow hunting, because I know that you're a gun hunter as well.
Yeah.
But this is on a second plan.
Yeah, that's a small part.
Yes. How do you see the progress of the technical progress of the bow equipment?
Well,
compared, let's say, 20 years ago.
Oh, huge difference from when I started with a long bow and then a recurve. The technology today with a compound is like the computer. I'm sure you remember when the first little Apple come out, and today what we have. I do believe, though, with a little instruction, one can learn to shoot much more proficient today with the equipment than the hours and hours and days that it took with the more crude equipment. I think you have to evaluate your equipment and your own skills, and you have to decide whether you are capable and your equipment is capable. With a bow, there's not one bow and one arrow that you can use for everything. Just like a rifle, we talked about 300 Win mags. You can do lots and lots of hunting with that.
Not everything.
But not everything. This is what gets some people in trouble with the bow. They've shot rabbits and birds and various, and then they go to bigger game, and they think the same bow will work. It will not. You could take, now, again, we have, I'm going to say 60 pounds.
60 pounds.
60 pounds. But now you have to be careful depending on the person's draw length. Power stroke. If you only draw a 26-inch arrow, and I draw 30, I get so much more out of it.
Big difference.
Big difference. So then I have to say, if you shoot 26-inch arrow, maybe you need to shoot 65 or 70 pounds. But that's a very good poundage that most people are capable. If you can shoot 70, that's even better. But you can do everything you want to do. You can shoot a lion with that. You cannot shoot any of the pachyderms or thick-skinned animals without getting up in the equipment today in the 90-pound range with an 800 or 900 grain arrow. You'll get 105 or 110 foot-pounds of kinetic energy. That's what you need to safely do the pachyderms. I would either, on the wild boar, and I was shooting 60 pounds, I'd use a 2-blade head. That's very sharp.
Yeah, explain why.
Because I want penetration. It takes less energy to drive a 2-blade head deeper and get more penetration. Now, if you want a 3-blade head, then you're careful not to exceed 1 1/8, 1 3/16 diameter. It's going to require more energy.
So you choose a smaller diameter.
Correct.
First, and second, you choose less blades, not the 4 blades.
No, none of them.
Okay, what about mechanical blades or fixed blades for this kind of game, wild boar, which is mainly in Bulgaria?
A fixed blade, 2-blade, is fine. A fixed blade, 3-blade is fine as long as you don't get it too big.
Okay.
The more taper you get, the easier it slides in. Always be very concerned about arrow flight. You can lose kinetic energy. Every arrow, when it comes out of the bow, porpoises. You can't see it with the naked eye. It's high-speed camera, you can see it. You want it to stabilize as quickly as possible, because when it's doing this, it's dissipating energy. We want to save all the energy we can.
So the heavier blade makes it less wobbling.
Correct. I recommend, if you're shooting 60 pounds and you're going out here to shoot roe deer and red deer, you can shoot 100 grain. But and you can shoot a lighter arrow, let's say 425 grains, the whole works. But if you're going to go shoot the wild boar, then you want to shoot 475, 500 grains.
Okay, you measure the whole arrow with the blades.
With the blades and with the fletching.
Okay, but if we are speaking only about the blade, what kind of grains you recommend? What is the weight you recommend?
I would recommend 125.
125 is
Yes.
better than the 100.
Yes. You want more FOC on the front. You want that's gaining weight. I mean, if you were a little bit experienced, I would even take my regular arrows and put a plastic tube inside them. You gain about 100 grains. Now you're shooting 650 grains.
Okay.
Yes, you know, it's going to arc more.
Service, yes.
Okay, it's more. But you're going to get that much more penetration.
And accuracy, maybe.
Pardon?
Accuracy.
Yes. Yeah, you will. But the pins get further apart.
Yes.
So now you got to guess the range that much closer.
Okay. This is one takes from the other.
Exactly.
In life, it's like that.
Sacrifices.
Sacrifices.
Right.
What is your favorite game animal?
Whitetails.
Whitetails. You have more of them than anything else.
Yeah. But I was raised with them like you were raised here in Bulgaria with the wild boar and roe deer.
Yes.
I mean, this was exciting for me, Wasanya, to hunt a roe deer. I've done it twice before and didn't get one. I can see where you could get hooked on it out there stalking. You know what I mean? It's a little animal that can hide so quick. And
as a bow hunter, you need a lot more experience as a hunter
yes.
to reach an animal and to try a shot. Not to kill it, but at least to try, to have opportunity to try.
Correct.
What is your recommendation about the heavy cover, about some special equipment, talking about 3D camouflage, or tell me your secret. Share your secret with my readers.
I have no secrets, okay? other than
Experience, okay.
I can tell you that if you can get advice from local people, that's a big, huge step.
Okay.
They know their area.
Jim Corbett.
Another thing I tell people who are starting, and I tell PHs who are gun hunters who have never taken a bow hunter, have you ever watched a house cat go after a mouse?
Yes.
That's what a bow hunter has to learn to do. You learn to ambush.
Yeah.
You learn to stalk. We lost all those skills 1,000 years. You know what I mean? We just lost them.
Because of all the technical aspects we
Yeah,
gain.
exactly. But the animals have not lost their skills. I'm sure you recognize as a professional hunter, when you leave this office after you've been here for, let's say, a month or two working, it takes you 4 or 5 days just
to get into the field the way I used
to hear,
yes.
to see, to sense. And a bow hunter has to do that even more than a gun hunter. It's one thing to see the animal 300 yards away.
And make easy shot with the rest.
Yeah. And the outfitter gets you to 100 yards and he says, this is the closest I've ever been. Yeah. And he said, now when we get 40 yards from it, we'll talk about being close.
Being on the question, give me some recommendation about the favorite distance for a bow hunter, which works better and usually have better success for a huge variety of people.
There is no absolute, Robert. It's very dependent on your skill level. If I had to tell you what's the average in America, I would say it's 20 yards that people set in the tree stand, yes. And 30 is at my lodge, the lodge we have where we hunt whitetails. I don't let a client shoot past 30 yards. Okay, but you can learn to shoot at much greater distances. Okay,
I mean hunting.
If you in hunting, I'm talking about hunting. I'm sure when you started out as a young professional hunter, you might have said, "Oh, I could not kill something at 400 meters." Okay, until you tried to shoot 500 and 600 meters, you don't kill something at 400 meters. I get all my students and people that ask me, I said, if you want to shoot really good at 30, you should be shooting at 50. Then when you're in a hunting mode and your heart is coming out of your chest and your nerves are like this, shaking, you should be able to keep it in that bowl. That bowl is the killing zone of most average
area.
Yeah, okay, of an animal. But if you only do it at 30 yards, you will not.
You cannot count on your abilities to do this.
Ability to do it. And so I encourage everyone. I have in my lifetime worked myself all the way out to 100 meters to shooting. Now I evaluate every animal is different. Okay? Some I would never shoot further than 40 yards, 40 meters on a bear. Absolutely. I shot my first wild boar here. I had some reservations. I shot him at 51 meters, but I had the perfect setup. I have been practicing pretty hard.
You shot it with a two...
No, I actually used a little 3-blade that's small. It's a solid head, and it's called a Hellraiser. And I mean, you can shave with it, okay? And I used a little heavier arrow, very small in diameter, and they fly, my pins are 3/16 apart. That's how close they are. And so that arrow's quite fast, and it was weighing probably almost 500 grains. And Sonny can tell you, a 29-inch arrow, there was only about that much that didn't
centimeters away.
that didn't penetrate. So I was very pleased at that distance.
Is it very important for the bow hunter to train with the equipment he's going on the field?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And when you shoot, you don't just stand out there on the line. You sit on the ground. You get on your knees. You sit on a bucket.
Okay.
So
all the realistic situations.
Right. If you want to wear gloves, you practice with gloves.
Okay.
If you're going to wear a big coat because it's going to be chilly when you're out there,
you practice
with a big coat.
Okay.
You must do that, or when you get there, it will feel different.
Do you use some camouflage, special camouflage, 3D or scent blocks or something?
I use scent blocker.
Okay.
I used it quite a bit on this hunt, but we had exceptionally weather here, warm weather, and Deb and me weren't prepared for such warm weather, and so it was a little difficult. I don't believe that camo always is a necessary, because I believe from all my studies and talking with biologists, most animals are colorblind. So I think the camo really is in the eye of the hunter and how he looks. He's dressing up. I do believe you want to stay away from like white, but you can go with blacks and browns and greens are just fine. I'm an absolute 1,000% believer in scent control. Whether you launder your clothes with just some type of no scent thing, you put them in a plastic bag and put some pine branches in there or something, that's fine. You don't have to buy real expensive stuff, but you keep it out in the garage or out in the shed. You don't bring it into the house. Where you do not smoke ever when you're wearing the clothing. For a bow hunter, your hat has huge scent. Okay? Your underwear has huge scent.
Which we didn't feel.
Right. And so you want to make sure you're headed out. If you're a really true bow hunter and you're worried about scent and you're going to be stalking, and the other thing you got to be careful about is your boots.
Tell me about the boots.
Rubber boots are actually ideal because you can wash them and clean them. Leather boots hold the human scent. Okay?
So they
right.
show your presence.
Yeah. And I have seen, even with rubber boots, where you walk like this and an animal comes by and stops, puts his nose to the ground, and knows that a human being has walked across there.
Usually the hunters in Bulgaria, they used to wear the rubber boots because they're cheap and they keep their feet dry, but actually this helps them.
Yeah, it did, correct.
Your biggest animal? Elephant.
Elephant.
Tell me about this.
Was
it easy hunt?
No, it was terribly hard hunt.
The professionals, they said if you want to hunt an elephant, you have to hunt it with your feet.
He was a smart man. You can wear out a pair of tennis shoes. And that's I learned you can have all the fancy boots in the world, but when your feet start getting sore, have a couple of pairs of sneakers.
Okay.
As you know.
They save the day.
They save the day. When you get some blisters, those soft sneakers,
Maybe we share some bad experience.
Yeah, I've had some bad.
Advice, to ask you a question about the Safari Club. You've been twice president of the Safari Club International.
Yes, I was honored to be elected the president and then elected a second time. When your peers do that.
Probably because they don't like you.
Yeah, right. And I guess what I would say is when I asked you if you wanted to be chapter president, and I almost did not hunt for 3 years because it was so time consuming, but there's so much to be done in the world.
So tell me, the biggest fight between the Greens and the hunters. Who is going to survive? Who is more motivated?
The struggle is going to continue, and it's going to probably get worse, not better. The salvation, okay, the whole Savior, is not to convince the anti-hunter or the green. It's to convince the person who's neutral, doesn't hunt, doesn't really even have an opinion, but can be swayed. Is it done in a respectful way? Are there more animals today than there was before because of good conservation principles? Okay. Hunting is a management tool.
If you
Animals
have interest, you don't manage.
Right. Okay. You have a renewable resource in wildlife. You manage it, the tools. Okay, one of the tools is hunting. You have to manage the numbers. A wise old South African biologist told me, God made people, God made land, and he made the animals. He didn't stop making people and animals, but he stopped making land. So it increases and it increases and it increases. And now we have a clash between people, animals, and the amount of space we have. People do not like to believe it. They don't want to believe it. They think it's make-believe. But a man of your experience knows there are elephants dying in Africa for lack of food. They've eaten themselves right out of house and home, but there's nowhere to go. And you just can't pick him up and move him to another area.
Even some organizations are trying to do this stupid thing.
Yeah, and it doesn't work.
Are my children going to hunt, or the children of my children are going to hunt?
You're much younger than me. I think you can probably answer that question with a little more different look than me. I mean, I pray that my grandchildren and grandchildren, or anybody who might have a desire to hunt. I can only say that some of these more radical ones I saw 20 years ago when Russia opened up. The first thing they did is ran to Russia. And they started in with all the animals over there that there was none left. I know that you have them here in Europe. They're in Africa. They're in South America. They're in Australia. Everywhere. They're a minority, but they make a lot of noise. They're using TV every day. Nickels, dimes, quarters. Save your puppies, save your kittens. For a fact, the Humane Society in the United States, when the money comes in from a local town to their national office, none of it goes back to save the puppies and kittens.
Okay. Yes.
You look at what their CEO makes, okay?
CEO?
CEO.
Yes.
Okay? Or executive director.
Okay.
He makes a huge. You should look and see how many attorneys they have on staff.
They must be paid.
All of them are paid.
Okay.
There are very good green people,
okay,
with the right intentions. There are some who do not have the right intentions. Okay? Whatever those motivations are, there can be from this extreme to this extreme.
Okay.
As you know, when you start killing people because of your opinion and thinking right or wrong, there's something wrong. Okay? That's an extreme, going well beyond the extreme. Another extreme in my own state some years ago, a politician wanted to ban fishing because he said the fish were hurt by the hook. Okay? There's people who want us to discontinue eating meat altogether.
And
okay.
but for Camouflage, I didn't know that you've been there. Do you enjoy this?
Oh, wonderful.
The
We would-
residence,
No, yeah.
the area.
Yeah, we love the area. I think the area is extremely beautiful.
Actually, this is the only place in Bulgaria where you can find all the species that are available here
Okay.
in one place, and open wild area.
Oh, it's open and wild. There's no doubt.
You can find all the species, starting from the Caperpellian, the
Yeah,
chamois,
I've had my experience with
yes.
it,
Difficult one.
and I missed. I missed it twice. The same bird. He was dumb enough to
You
hop.
tried with the bow?
Yeah. No, it's just my fault. Just my fault.
This is a lot of challenge.
Yes, it is.
A lot of challenge. Okay.
It was the first morning we got up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's what we
and I
do.
couldn't get both eyes open.
Okay, are you going to come back in Bulgaria?
Oh yes, I think Deb and me will be back. We feel like we have in just 2 trips. One trip we felt we had family. Now we know we have family here, and we will come back to enjoy the people, enjoy the food, and enjoy the hunting and the adventure of it.
You're always welcome.
Well-
Here in Bulgaria, in my office, in
Oh,
our
thank
hunting
you.
grounds, and I think that every Bulgarian will have the use of you being here because of your knowledge, because of your authority, and your professionalism.
Well, I hope so. One day, Robert, I won't be here, and I hope that I really truly hope that people saw me as trying to make a difference, and that all hunters, including me, we try to put back more than we ever take. A great feeling to have the chamois. And I don't know, Sonny might know better than me, maybe the manager. I don't know how many Balkan chamois have been taken with the bow here in Bulgaria.
Just one, I think. This is the second one.
Archie taken one?
Yes.
Okay, but any others? I don't think.
Yeah, me too. I think this is the second one.
Second one, okay. That's, I didn't know. But it's certainly a beautiful creature and a very, very smart creature. What a wonderful trophy, and I have to thank them for making it all possible, the way they worked with me, getting up and down mountains, and Sunny as well. She covered every angle trying to make this trip a success, and there it is. It's a success.